Today's session is going to be talking about Seisan Kata, and we're going to be working through it step by step. And this session is about learning more of the details of the kata, some of the applications, but also more of the body mechanics, the way the body moves to be efficient and effective. It's about just getting a deeper understanding, more insight into Seisan Kata. Now, I realize that not everybody does the kata exactly the same way I do. We're not trying to tell you that there's one right way or wrong way. This is just one way to do it. And it might give you some ideas, especially for practitioners who've been around for a while. You've learned the kata, you have some thoughts about it, you've got some ideas, maybe some things that are very well formed, but sometimes we can get stuck in our own way of thinking. And it's good to get some insight into different ways of looking at it. So approach it with an open mind, try it out, see if some of these things make sense to you. Some will, some won't, that's okay, but at least you're trying, you're opening your mind up and experiencing something new. So Seisan Kata, we'll just start from this position, the beginning of the kata, and down, and then ready position. Now, when the kata starts with the side block, this is covering the body. So instead of stepping and putting the hand right on the side as a basic way to learn the kata, for more advanced, we want to cover the body first. So you're protecting your body with your arms. The right hand comes up higher, and the left hand starts to scoop ready for the side block. And you land in your Seisan stance, of course. So this first move is protecting your upper body. The circle step protects the lower body. And now as you step out and complete the movement, you get right to your stance and have your block extend. Now, after the block, we have to follow it with a punch. This is the pattern of the kata. So relax, drop your weight a little bit, and get ready to push the hips in with a snap and shoot that straight punch right to the solar plexus. Now, of course, relax again after you've delivered the force on the first blow. Relax to get ready for the next one. Cover and punch. And then relax again. Always relax in between your moves. Deliver the power, tensing the muscles at the point of impact, and then relax after that. Another step, and the third punch. So taking your time, getting all those punches done with proper form, keeping your elbow in, don't let it flare out, hitting with the top two knuckles, all these things I think you already know. Now, cross your arms. Next move in the kata is the double head block move. And this is protecting in a basic way against a strike or a grab coming at your head. There are some other applications, bunkai, that we'll do in other sessions. But for this one, I do want you to think of it as getting in between the opponent's arms. And so instead of just lifting, I try to do it this way. I give my shuffle in, and slight shuffle to the left, and I shoot the arms up so they're in the middle between the two attacking arms. And as they come up into the middle, now they separate out and they kind of do a wedging action to deflect against that initial attack. So instead of just lifting, which is not really a very strong move, your body mechanics are not good with that, but in this way to push up almost like punches or uppercuts coming up and then flaring out from there. So you still end up in the same standard double head block position, but just the way you get there is slightly different. Now the next the next move is to turn your head and step around backwards. And as we do that, our hands will cross and we're in a Seisan stance the other way with the double down block movement. Shuto, uki, shuto block, low. That can be striking opponents in the groin area, that same opponent who was grabbing you possibly, or it can be thought of as blocks to the side. Again, there are other additional, more advanced bunkai, but that's just one way to think of it. Now, so that you can see the motion a little clearer, I'm going to do it from the side. When I've turned and I'm doing my double down movement here, I don't want to extend my arms out and then bring them all the way down. I want to keep my elbows bent as the arms come down and then give the chop afterwards. You can almost think of it as a back elbow strike and then down. And that might give you some ideas of additional bunkai. All right, the next move is this double blocking move here. So similar to what we did in the beginning of the kata, when we covered for our side block, we want to cover the body for this double block position. So the left hand starts to come up and the right hand covers in front of the body. As we circle step, we're protecting the lower body and then stepping out and completing the movement. So from the front, the left hand comes up, the right hand circles in, covering the lower body, and then getting the block. And the block is against a punching attack to the midsection as a basic way to look at it. And you're catching it right in the crook of your wrist there, right in that bend area at that point. Basic bunkai, maybe a block on one side and a block on the other side, but there are other advanced ways to look at bunkai as well. We're not doing those in this session. We'll do that in another session. So that double block movement. Next movement is reaching forward to grab. The thumb comes out on this, and the fingers make a strong gripping action, and we tense up our shoulder by pulling it down using your lat muscle, exhaling and dropping the elbow, bringing the elbow about to your side with that exhale at the same time. Also, to pull the chin back in to protect against a face punch. If there is a punch to the face, it's better to have your chin tucked in rather than extended out, similar to Seisan Kata. So from here, exhale, and the chin pulls back in. Now, of course, that movement's done 3 times. And on the third one, our next move is to go to the side. As we're coming to deal with an opponent on the side here, we'll turn our head first, cover, and bring your left hand across your body so that as you step out and block, you can use your body into that side block. Now, relax and get ready for your double punch. But the double punch, in this case, is not 2 single punches. Those would be 2 single punches. Instead, it's 2 in quick succession. So relax, let the hips snap. 2 full, fast punches, but together, think of them as one move. Now the front snap kick. Remember the proper form for that. Bringing the leg up with a good snap and hold the balance for a moment. And then set it down. When you're in a good balance stance at the end, now you get your last punch. Same principles apply, keeping your elbow in, aiming with your top 2 knuckles. Now here we go to the side. We turn and we check to see an opponent on that side. Maybe they're not ready to attack us yet, so we look to the other side. And again, a cover. So as we're stepping out with our right foot, the right hand does the side block. You're in your Seisan stance, and you give your double punch. Remember, think of it as one move. Then the front snap kick, and the last punch. Same thing to the back, side. Double punch, front kick, and punch. Now, when you go to the next move, some people do this blocking move or breaking move a little differently. I'll do it the way I was taught, but you turn your back foot out and you drop your weight directly down, and then bring the arm under and pull across. So let me do that facing the front. So from this punch here, my back foot turns out. I squat down to make a horse stance. I bring the left arm underneath, and I catch it almost by my elbow of my right arm, and then a pulling out movement. So my right hand comes back to my hip, my left arm pulls out and across. So from the back position, horse stance, pull out. Next move, turn your head first. Always look behind, see the opponent coming from that direction, and then step back and across and slide your feet back. And this is the cat stance position. So remember with a cat stance, your back foot is 90 degrees, your front foot's on the ball of the foot, and you have 80 to 90% of your weight on your back leg. So you're able to kick or move quickly with that front leg if needed. Hands are on the back hip at this point. You're observing your opponent. The next move, again, done differently in different schools, but the way that I was taught is to slide up forward while executing a head block, and then roll that arm out to hit at the nose and then drop it back down. I'm going to do that sideways so you can see it from this position. I slide forward as I block, I roll the elbow and the wrist and snap and hit the nose. So that happens in one motion, and the block is happening while you're stepping in the forward movement. So don't step first and then block. Probably not a good idea if somebody's striking at you. So block as you're coming forward, and then hit the opponent, hitting the nose, using that snap of the wrist. Use your shoulder, use your elbow, and use your wrist. All of those are part of this hit on the nose. Straight down to there. Good. Now, the next move is to step back and make your cat stance again. And this time the hand has turned to be in a straight vertical fist position. The front foot steps down. So it was up on the ball of the foot, but here it goes down. Now, we step over into that cross-legged stance, and you're on the ball of the back foot at this point. So the back foot is up on the ball. Now, balance after the front kick, but set it forward for a Seisan stance. So here's the kick, and then set it forward for a Seisan stance again, hand on your side. Here's a down block, so the hand can come from here, from the hip or from the shoulder for a bit more force, and swing it down. Cover the lower body. Remember, a down block shouldn't take an up and down path, because then you missed the area that you're trying to protect. From the side, sweep it across your body, so you're covering anything coming in to that middle section. Now here's our punch. Remember to relax first, then snap. And now we do the arm break, or that last blocking move, turning to the side with the back foot, dropping the weight. You're in your horse stance again. Bring the other arm underneath, right by the elbow. And as you pull, use your back muscles, expand the chest out, pulling that arm back with some strength. All right, we're turning back the other way, and this section repeats going back. Cat stance, hands back. Slide forward with the block and hit the nose. Back to cat stance again. Stepping down with the foot and stepping over into the cross stance. Front kick with balance. Then set, block. And remember, cover, sweep the body for the block. Then punch. And then horse stance. And again, bring the arm through for that last move. Now coming back, looking over your shoulder, back to cat stance again. So we start in the cat stance, but the next movement is different on this section. It's forward into the Zen Kutsudachi, or the forward leaning stance. So you step out long with the front leg and push out to the block. Now the foot, I'm turning sideways so you can see it from this angle. When I'm in cat stance, it's about 90 degrees. But when I step forward, I turn that foot 45 degrees, and I place my front foot on 45 degrees as well. So I get into that Zen Kutsudachi position. And remember, it's kind of a narrow, long stance, but still has some great stability front to back and just a bit of side to side stability. But we're moving forward here, and there's the block. Roll it off and hit to the nose the same as before. Now we're going to go right to a down block, but we shift our front foot to the side, our right foot, and we cover the whole body with that scooping block all the way across for the block. Now punch from here, and then dropping the leg out and back to the horse stance and pull. And that's the fourth and last arm break, or last blocking move, or whatever you call it, in that position. All right, last section of the kata. Here's where we're covering. Cover your body by bringing this arm breaking hand, or this upward hand, across in front. Bring the other one underneath. The next move is defending against potentially somebody striking at you. So if you just step back and you're unprotected, well, you have a chance of being hit there. So we want to cover the middle of our body first. Cover it first and go back. Now pull that block off, that open-handed side block, shudoki, here to that open-handed block. And this is a cat stance, and my teacher, Angioezu, would say that this cat stance is a little wider than a normal cat stance. Normally heel-to-heel line, but in this case, when you step back, you don't go to a complete alignment, you keep it open slightly. And that helps to facilitate the next move, which is shifting from your cat stance to your Seisan stance. So you have to put your weight forward slightly as you lift up the back foot and turn it straight. Now we're in a Seisan stance to the front. Your open-handed block stays there while you do your front snap kick and set it down. Then you relax, drop your weight, use your hip for a good strong punch. And now extend the left hand out and the right hand, both will be open in front of you, and go back with your right foot to turn it sideways as you slide back and circle your hands back into a cat stance and an open-handed position this way. I'm going to do it from the side. There's the punch. I reach out both hands. I step back. I slide my weight back to make a cat stance, and my hands are open with my palm facing forward. Now, to do the next move, typically thought of as a foot break, one of the bunkai, is to bring your left hand over the top and your right hand underneath, like you're catching the opponent's heel underneath, toes on top. And then you're going to twist it to twist the ankle for a break, and your heel comes down at the same time. So it's a twist and heel down. I like to put a little bit of a dropping of the weight forward too to get some force into that. You're not very strong when you're leaning back, but in this move, if you lean forward slightly, just slightly, you're getting more force into that last move. So we're at the break here. Now, turn the left foot so the toes are out slightly, and then step up into your Musubadachi or tension stance position with the hands up in front, left hand open, right hand in the fist, and the hands then circle down in front, and then you come to a tension position and you bow. So I hope there's a few things in there as you're watching this that you're saying, oh, I could be a little bit better on my elbow position or my stance, or I got some more clarification on a certain part of the kata. This session wasn't really about teaching the bunkai. We'll do that in other sessions, but this is to get your body mechanics right, to get your body movement right so you can be more efficient. Some of the mistakes that I commonly see are elbows winging out on their punches. Of course, we want to keep our elbow along our side as we punch. Covering before blocking. Teaching beginners, and you teach stacking and then block, that's fine. But as you progress, that cover of the body might make more sense to have more protection as you're moving into your opponent or as you're dealing with an opponent who's in front of you. Relaxing and tensing at the right times, that's important. And just overall using your body to help with your techniques. If you turn your body first and then do your block, those are two separate movements. You've wasted that great opportunity of turning the body that you could have used into the force of your technique. So when you are turning direction, use your body to help with the hand technique that's happening at the same time, whenever possible, and whenever you're able to maintain a good defense at the same time. So these are some points that I've picked up from my teachers over the years and from my own training, and ways that I've found is a good way to explain a technique or to think about a technique in Seisan Kata to help you make your own best kata. So I hope that was helpful for you, and we'll see you in the next session.